I've moved my whole life, between countries, between cultures, between identities. So I've learned something important. The things we trust to hold our lives together are often the most fragile of all. Imtiaz Dharker wrote Tissue as someone who understands displacement, someone who has watched borders shift, laws change, and life unravel, sometimes without warning. She also wrote this poem while watching someone she loved slowly die, and that changes how you see the world. This poem is about paper, but really it's about power, control, and the fragile truth of being human. Structurally, Dharker explores three central ideas. First, how humans try to control the world through man-made structures, laws, money, religion, maps. Second, how fragile that power really is. And finally, how human life itself is delicate, temporary, and far more valuable than the systems we build around it. Look at the poem's form. It doesn't stay neat. The quatrains stretch, almost tear apart. Sentences spill across lines using enjambment and caesura, as if the poem itself is made of paper that can't quite hold its shape. That's deliberate. The structure embodies fragility, suggesting that our systems, our rules, our certainties are never as solid as we pretend. And by the final line, the poem turns inward, away from buildings and laws, and back to human skin. That shift matters as it highlights that we humans are the most important thing in this world, not the buildings or materials we leave behind. Paper that lets the light shine through, this is what could alter things. This is where Dharker begins to challenge power. The noun paper represents everything humans use to organize life: documents, receipts, laws, religious texts. And yet, paper is weak. It tears, it fades, it burns. There's almost a sarcasm here. How strange that humanity places so much faith in something so temporary. Then comes light. Light is natural, endless, uncontainable. The light imagery runs throughout the poem as an extended metaphor for nature, truth, and human freedom. The light doesn't break the paper, it passes through it. That verb matters. It suggests that human structures can't stop truth, can't stop nature, can't stop change. But notice the word lets. This isn't destruction, it's cooperation. Dharker isn't rejecting all human systems. She's suggesting that when our structures allow space for nature, for compassion, for humanity, then things really can be altered. This is a poem of quiet hope that humans will realize that they need to coexist with nature. If buildings were paper, see how easily they fall away on a sigh, a shift in the direction of the wind. Now the poem turns hypothetical. If buildings were paper, that conditional language, if, creates a tone of longing, as if I want the truth behind these structures to finally be visible. The buildings suggest governments, corporations, institutions of power. And Dharker exposes how fragile man-made structures could be if they were made with something that allows nature to flow through it, if humans were more honest rather than deceitful. The adverb easily undermines human authority completely. All it would take from nature is a sigh, a shift, a breath of wind to knock down buildings. The sibilance here, the soft S and esh sounds, creates a gentle wind, not a violent storm. Nature doesn't need force, it barely has to try. And that sigh, it feels ancient, almost tired, as if nature has watched humanity build, control, dominate, and knows it will all pass. The message is clear. Human power is temporary and often an illusion built through corruption. Fine slips from grocery shops might fly our lives like paper kites. Now the poem moves closer to us. Not governments, not skyscrapers, receipts. The adjective fine highlights how small, thin, and seemingly insignificant these pieces of paper are. And yet, they control us. They track where we go, what we buy, who we are. The simile, like paper kites, is deceptively gentle. A kite looks free. It dances in the sky, but it's tethered, just like us humans. We believe consumerism, spending money gives us freedom, choice, independence, success. but we remain tied to debt, to bills, to systems we didn't design. Darker is warning us. We mistake movement for freedom and consumption as the meaning of life, whilst we forget that these things are materialistic and will never bring us true joy. Living tissue, raise a structure never meant to last, turned into your skin. This is where the poem finally reveals its heart and what Darker believes is the true meaning of life. Living tissue. Paper becomes flesh. The phrase never meant to last is devastating and honest. Yes, we will die. But the present tense, established through the verb living, reminds us that life still matters because it is temporary. And here, for the first time, Darker uses your direct address. Here comes the realization that this could be a loving message spoken to Darker's dying partner, full of tenderness and acceptance of the inevitable grief of losing them. Or it could be the reader reminded that our time is limited. Then comes skin. Fragile, permeable, human. Skin lets light through, too. Humans are connected to nature, and loving one another is a natural part of life, even if it is temporary. The connections, the memories, and the love we hold for one another becomes our lasting legacies. Whilst there is pain in losing a loved one, the tone here isn't bitter. It's gentle, affectionate. The final message is clear. What truly lasts is not buildings, not money, not laws, but human connection, care, and love. So for your grade 9 response, remember, tissue challenges human power. It exposes the fragility of control, and it argues that human life and relationships matter more than systems. To strengthen your essays, watch the full analysis videos for the other power and conflict poems right here on GCSE LitVerse, where characters teach you literature,